We all know someone, or have at least experienced, the type of individual that leaves us feeling stressed out and exhausted just from a brief encounter with them. More often than not, these people are not out to ruin our day or aggravate us or piss us off. They're usually oblivious of their annoying behavior. Of course, that's not always the case. There are people who are so dedicated to being miserable that they want to bring everybody down to their level of misery. But that's a whole other subject. Usually the people that bring you down or frustrate you are your coworkers, but for many of you, it can also be family members or people that you are well acquainted with or longtime friends. Either way, you're forced or obligated to engage with these people. In 1995, Dr. Lillian Glass coined the term toxic people. It gets thrown around a lot these days, but it isn't a professional or psychological phrase of diagnosis. Now, that being said, a toxic person is someone who only brings negative feelings like anxiety, frustration, and anger to everybody that they meet. Or they'll say things about your life choices that are opinionated, that just make you feel bad, and you get angry with them, and then you start questioning yourself every time they're around. Well, not everybody in your life is going to support your goals or aspirations, but toxic people will usually go out of the way to tell you all the reasons that you're going to fail rather than give you any positive support. So the first thing you need to deal with toxic people is having the right mindset to be able to be aware of a person's certain behaviors that put you in a position where you're going to get frustrated and stressed out and angry with them. Basically, you're putting up a mental force field long enough to deal with their presence. And watch what you say to them, because there's a pattern to the abusive tone and language they use based on the things that you're saying, even though you are not starting anything. It could be the most basic and cordial statement that they somehow twist into something dramatic and leave you at a loss for words and highly irritated. You can try to set boundaries with toxic people, but many times that just makes them push harder to stay in control of every situation they're involved in. So keep your interactions with them shallow and easy. Don't engage them unless it's absolutely necessary. When you do have to communicate or have any type of conversation with a toxic person, you have to be on guard with your emotions and you have to stand firm with them. Keep a consistent boundary with everything you do with toxic people. They will always try to find a way to get control of your emotional state. So stand firm even if you feel like you're acting like a jerk or an ass. And you will if you're not used to speaking up. If you're always staying silent with toxic and parasitic people, you're going to feel like a jerk when you start talking to them in a manner that is standing up for yourself. So don't feel guilt for keeping solid boundaries with those that have the capability to manipulate your emotions. Now, if you don't know how to spot the toxic people in your life, then here's a few signs to look for. Toxic people always have a victim state of mind. If things don't work out, it's always a personal issue or an attack on them. It's never something they did, and they always blame everyone else. Toxic people don't hold themselves accountable. A compliment is rare from a toxic person, but when it does happen, there's always a negative twist to it or some sarcasm mixed in. Toxic people are always jealous of others, whether it's a promotion at work or a new car or another relationship that somebody's happy in. The promotion should have gone to somebody else, the new car's a piece of crap, and the relationship probably won't last 6 months. Those are the kind of things that they'll be saying to you. Toxic people will make you feel guilt just to try to get you to do something for them or with them or see things their way. Toxic people will passively bully you into situations you wanted to stay away from or completely out of. If there's someone in your life that is demeaning towards you and they try to manipulate you or say and do things to make you feel bad, you need to cut them out of your life if it's possible. If that behavior is coming from someone you know and it's out of character and it's because they're going through some difficult times, hang in there, be a good friend to them, and try to be empathetic for their situation. But if it's behavior coming from someone that has always been that way and you don't see a change, you have to cut them out of your life. Most toxic people are not intentional about it, and almost all do not know they're toxic. Some of them will listen if approached with constructive criticism, shed some light on a person's behavior, and give them the opportunity to see their actions from the eyes of those around them. When it's done in the right environment with the right people, some toxic people can be reached. But to reach them, you have to stand firm and don't get emotional. If it's your spouse or partner that is the toxic person in your life, then you need to look back and try to recall last time you were living a happy life that was fulfilling. If your loved one is stealing your joy and you always feel emotionally exhausted, it's time to move on. Move on or continue living in misery. For what? For better or worse? That's BS. Don't be a victim because of some vows you made years ago that are clearly past their expiration date. There are toxic people in our lives that we can't disassociate with. It's likely they're going to be around for years. You just have to keep the upper hand with them. Be aware and ready when they're around. Be ready to dismiss the negative comments as well as the negative energy they bring with them. When they start in on their drama, talk with whoever else is around and literally ignore them. If they're the only one around and you can't get away, talk about something that they really love or something neutral like the weather, or put some music on and avoid conversation. Do what you have to keep them from trying to grab your emotional strings and start pulling. Because of all the fear and uncertainty in the world today, there are more toxic people springing up everywhere, and it's contagious. If you don't defend yourself against toxic people, you will become one of them. A toxic person is like a parasite. Just be kind, be patient, but be firm. Know the signs and protect yourself. Protect yourself from the negativity and from the parasitic and toxic people that are out there. One of the best ways to do that is to surround yourself with positive, like-minded people who have a great outlook on life and are goal-oriented. Dismiss all the negative thoughts that come your way, whether they're from your mind or from somebody else that's talking negative around you. Watch for those signs of toxic people and keep your guard up. Focus on you. Focus on the unconditional love that's all around you. And stay the course. You're a whole lot stronger than you think you are.